Hey, so I'm just here with my mom, Mary, the warrior woman of God. We're out preaching the gospel at the state fair. We just talked to this guy named Curtis. He kind of hesitated to come to the booth. We're like, oh, come on. And he kind of was starting to walk. We're like, oh, come on, man. And we just talked with him and just shared the gospel with him. And he wouldn't sell his soul to the devil. He said, I'm not going to sell my soul. That'd be to the devil. But he said, hopefully I'm going to heaven. But we're like, well, do you know for sure you're going to heaven? He's like, no, I don't. I said, well, the Bible says that before the foundations of the earth were laid, that the names of God's chosen people are written in the Lamb's Book of Life. So God knows whether or not you're going to heaven, and you can know if you're going to heaven or not. And he's like, how? Well, it's just like putting your faith and trust in Jesus. If you died today, you could go to heaven. So we just prayed with them to receive Jesus. I was just proclaiming Isaiah 61 over him. We just prayed with them to receive Jesus.
And I think the thing that's really important when we do evangelism is to, I'm a trained salesperson, so and have my own company, trained salespeople, is, they call it to go in for the close. Like, we want to go in for the close. So he was like, do you know if you died tonight, would you go to heaven? He says, I don't know. Although he said he did believe that Jesus was the way. So I think a lot of times we stop and say, well, they believe Jesus is the way, so therefore they must have put their trust in him. Now, that's not necessarily true, because people could believe something in your mind, but it says if you believe in your heart. So we really need the surrender piece is huge. And so I just said to him, would you like to pray right now? And he said yes. So I think it's so important we ask, can I pray for you right now to accept Jesus? And he did pray and ask Jesus in, and you saw a huge transformation in him. His countenance was softened. You felt the love of God on him. He said he definitely wanted to follow up. He said he definitely wanted to go to church. And so I think it's so important everywhere we go that we just share the gospel, and I'm so blessed to be here today and to help these people at the fair to come to know Jesus.
And so he wasn't the first person I've talked to either. I've been at the booth, a bunch of times throughout while we've been doing it. And I've talked to a couple different fair workers who got to minister to them. One of which, she was a lady who's a believer. I really just got to encourage her and just give her some insight and prophesy into her. So it's been cool to work with the fair workers and just be able to bless them, So, yeah.
It's the best news ever. Share the gospel everywhere you go. The best thing to do is share our testimony too, because it says we overcome Satan by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony.